Good morning. So today we will be discussing dielectric properties of a solid. Okay. So at first we are going to solve this question. The question given is analysis shows that nickel oxide has formula Ni 0.98 and oxygen 1.00. What fraction of nickel exists as Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus ions? Okay, so at first, this is a type of metal deficiency defect. Metal deficiency defect. Okay, we have discussed, and I have told you that time these defects, okay, are shown by only those solids, okay, means which belongs to transition elements. For example, I told you about FeO. Okay, at that time I told you Fe can show Fe2 plus as well as Fe3 plus. Okay, means Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus at a time Fe is capable of showing two different valencies. Okay, so when Fe2 plus was missing from the lattice, then some of the Fe2 plus, okay, increased their valency as Fe3 plus. We have discussed this. Okay, so this question is, we say, based upon metal deficiency defect. Okay, and now just I am going to discuss how to solve this type of questions. Okay, so come to the question again. Question is, analysis shows that nickel oxide means what? NiO. Okay, so nickel oxide has formula Ni, means actual formula of nickel oxide is NiO, but according to the analysis the formula is Ni 0.98 oxygen 1. Getting this now? Means if it is nickel oxide, then ratio of nickel and oxygen atom, okay, is 1:1. Okay, now there are two things. One is Ni2 plus and one is Ni3 plus, means two types of cations are present in the lattice. So let the cation Ni3 plus, okay, the cation Ni3 plus be X. Okay, so if Ni3 plus, okay, Ni3 plus is X in number, so we can say therefore cation Ni2 plus will be equal to, we have given nickels are 0.98 and this nickel which is 0.98, okay, it consists of two types of ion, Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus. So we have given total nickel to be 0.98. So if I supposed Ni3 plus is X, okay, then Ni2 plus will be 0.98 minus X. Okay, so therefore cation Ni2 plus will be equal to 0.98 minus X. Okay, now we know any ionic crystal, okay, is electrically neutral. So we say since Ni 0.98 and oxygen 1 is electrically neutral, is electrically neutral. Okay, so we can say charge on nickel will be equal to charge on oxygen. Okay, charge on nickel is equal to charge on oxygen. Okay, so what is charge on nickel? So right here it means, since nickel 0.98, okay, O1 is electrically neutral. Okay, therefore charge on Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus will be equal to charge on, okay, charge on O2 minus. Okay, so write charge on nickel Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus. So total Ni2 plus is, it is 0.98 minus x. Okay, 0, and we know if it is Ni2 plus, means charge here is 2 plus, means plus 2, and on Ni3 plus charge is plus 3. Okay, so right here multiply this 2, okay, and total nickel is here 0.98 minus x plus total charge means Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus. So Ni3 plus is 3 into total Ni3 plus is x, so 3x, and it is equal to what? It is equal to minus 2. Okay, it is equal to minus 2. Okay, now calculate this. It is 2 into 0.98. So it will be, okay, sorry, just write the magnitude. Okay, so it will be 6, okay, 1.96 minus 2x plus 3x is equal to 2. So it will be x is equal to 2 minus 1.96. X is equal to 2 minus 1.96. I am writing it here. X is equal to 2 minus 1.96. That means x is equal to 0.04. Okay, so x is equal to 0.04. So we can find percentage of x. What is x? X is Ni3 plus. Okay, so right here percentage of Ni3 plus, and it will be equal to 0.04 divided by total was given 0.98 into 100. Okay, so just calculate this. This will be equal to 4.01. Okay, this will be equal to 4.01. Okay, now so from here we can say percentage of Ni2 plus, it will be equal to 100 minus 4.01 means so it will be equal to 95.99%. Okay, So in this way we can calculate percentage of Ni2 plus and Ni3 plus. Okay, so I think I hope this type of question, okay, you can solve by yourself. Now come to okay. Now come to Curie temperature. Curie temperature. So what happens? Solids, or we say magnetic solids, like ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic. Magnetic solids like ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic can be converted into paramagnetic substances, okay, upon heating up to certain temperature. Okay, the temperature at which these solids, or the temperature at which ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic substances are converted into paramagnetic substances, is called as Curie temperature. Getting this? Okay, I told you these ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic, okay, all these can be converted into paramagnetic, okay, by heating them up to a certain temperature, okay, and the temperature, that certain temperature, okay, at which these magnetic solids are converted into paramagnetic, okay, is known as Curie temperature. So the temperature at which ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic, and ferrimagnetic substances are converted into paramagnetic substances is called as Curie temperature. Okay, one more thing. Okay, these gates change into paramagnetic into paramagnetic because of realignment of magnetic moments in one direction or in the direction of, or we can say these gets changed into paramagnetic because of realignment of magnetic moments in the same direction, okay. So from this we can conclude one type of magnetic solids can be converted into other, okay, or say ferromagnetic, antiferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic can be converted into paramagnetic, okay, by heating them up to a certain temperature called as Curie temperature, okay. For example, we say ferrimagnetic Fe3O4, for example, ferrimagnetic substance Fe3O4, ferrimagnetic substance Fe3O4 can be converted to paramagnetic by heating it at 850 Kelvin temperature, okay. So for this 850 Kelvin temperature will be the Curie temperature. Getting this? Okay. One more example. Antiferromagnetic substance V2O3 gets converted into paramagnetic upon heating it at 750 Kelvin temperature. Okay. So Fe3O4 is basically a ferrimagnetic substance, and upon heating this, okay, up to a temperature, okay, 850 Kelvin, it turns into paramagnetic. So this 850 Kelvin here is Curie temperature, okay, for Fe3O4. In second example I told you antiferromagnetic substance means V2O3 is an antiferromagnetic substance, okay, and it gets converted into paramagnetic upon heating at a temperature 750 Kelvin. Getting this? Okay. Now come to dielectric properties of solids. So it is dielectric properties of solids. Okay, so what happens, we know non-polar solids, we know polar solids, we know ionic solids. Okay, say example of non-polar solids, say it is H2, sorry, it is non-polar solids. Okay, means if it is non-polar means what? Non-polar means say it is anything, say for example we can say it is non-polar means Cl2 oxygen CO2. Okay, okay, so we can say it is N2. Okay, means N2 means, or simply say it is Cl2. So Cl2 means Cl. Okay, it is not a non-polar solid, it is non-polar molecule. Okay, right here non-polar molecule. Okay, so Cl2 means Cl, one electron, okay, of each atom are shared between these two atoms. So what happens, electronegativity of chlorine is 3.5, again electronegativity of this chlorine is 3.5. so the electron density shifts, okay, at the equilibrium, position. Okay, so here no dipole is formed, but in case of polar molecule, say if it is HCl, then what happens, okay, it is HCl, electronegativity of chlorine is 3.5, electronegativity of hydrogen it is equal to 2.1. okay, so chlorine is more electronegative than hydrogen, so what happens, electrons are shared, or electron density are more towards chlorine, so partial negative charge develops here, and in case of hydrogen partial positive charge develops here. So we can see here one positive charge, one negative charge, means two poles are formed here. That's why these are known as dipolar. Okay, means in this case what happens, due to this presence of this partial or small charge, okay, these are conducting in nature. So our topic is dielectric properties of solids. So what happens when electric field is applied, okay, these dipoles when electric field is applied, okay, these dipoles arrange themselves in different manner, okay, and this can be arranged in the way such that the resultant magnetic moment can be we say having some value. Okay, again we can say the resultant magnetic moment, okay, can align themselves in such a way that they cancel out effect of each other. Effect of each other. Okay, means what happens in these dipoles, okay, electric dipoles, okay, they can align in such a way that their magnetic moment can be having some value. Okay, means we say resultant, okay, or net magnetic moment will be having some value, and it can arrange themselves in a way that resultant magnetic moment is zero. They will cancel out effect of each other. So based upon these things, okay, we are going to discuss four types of crystal. Okay, and these are piezoelectric. These are piezoelectric or piezoelectric crystal, pyroelectric crystal. Okay, first thing we are going to discuss is piezoelectricity. Okay, so what happens in case of piezoelectricity? In some dielectric, okay, crystals, in some dielectric crystals, in dielectric crystals, or we say when dielectric crystals are applied, okay, an external pressure, then their magnetic moments, okay, arrange in same direction. So when dielectric crystals, okay, when dielectric crystals are applied an external pressure, then their magnetic moments arrange in same direction. Okay, and this results in increased. Okay, so we will say when dielectric crystals are applied an external pressure, then their magnetic moments arrange in same direction, and this results in their electrical property. Okay, and this results in their electrical property. Okay, so since the electrical property, okay, is we say shown under the influence of external pressure, so these are known as piezoelectric crystals. Okay, then we say next thing is pyroelectricity. First one is piezoelectric. Piezoelectric means what? Means when we say dielectric crystal, okay, is applied under external pressure, then what happens? They start showing electrical property. And this electrical property is due to the effect of pressure applied. So these are known as piezoelectricity. Okay, then next is pyroelectricity. So what is pyroelectricity? Pyroelectricity is some dielectric crystals, upon hitting some dielectric crystals, upon hitting produces small current, or we can say some dielectric crystals upon hitting may produce small current. Some dielectric crystals upon hitting may produce small current. So we say the current produced because of hitting is known as pyroelectricity. So we can say the current produced as the current produced on hitting is known as pyroelectricity. So what is pyroelectricity? Pyroelectricity means some dielectric crystals upon hitting produces a small current, and this is known as pyroelectricity. So we have discussed piezoelectricity, we have discussed pyroelectricity, and there is one more term, it is ferroelectricity and anti-ferroelectricity. One is ferroelectricity. These are small topics. So one is ferroelectricity, and other is anti-ferroelectricity. So what is ferroelectricity? Some piezoelectric crystal after removal of electric field shows electrical properties which is known as ferroelectricity. So what is ferroelectricity? Very simple. Some piezoelectric crystals, or we say piezoelectric crystals, when we say external pressure or external field is removed, then after the removal of the field they show some kind of electrical properties, and this is known as ferroelectricity. And last is anti-ferroelectricity. Anti-ferroelectricity means no net magnetic moment is present there. No net magnetic moment is present there in the dipolar or dielectric solid. Okay, antiferroelectricity is no net magnetic moment is present there in the dielectric solids, means they align themselves in a such a way that they cancels effect of each other. Okay, we have learned this. Okay, one will be parallel, then other will be anti-parallel, so that both will be cancelling effect of each other. Okay, so we have finished our solid state. Okay, last these three or four things are just theory. Okay, just definitions are there. Okay, means piezoelectricity, then it was pyroelectricity, then ferroelectricity, anti-ferroelectricity. All these are just theory. Okay, and just short definitions are there, and means we have finished this chapter. Now we will be I think next chapter. Okay, so next chapter is solution. So from next video or in next video I will be discussing, or I will start solution. Okay, and the numericals of solid state, I will try to give you assignments. Okay, or the assignments which I will get, okay, for you. Then in those assignments I will try to solve all the numericals, and if you are having any problem in numerical or any theoretical portion also, then you can just ask it to me. Okay, just leave a message and I will reply. Okay, thank you.